Welcome. Today we're going to be doing 6th grade math, chapter 1, lesson 5. We are going to be talking about graphing ratio tables. Before we can get into that, we have a lot of vocabulary that we need to cover. This all should be in your notebook. If you want to do a chapter 5, if you've already started a chapter 5 vocabulary page, that's fine. You may want to add to it if you haven't already, or you may want to have this in this lesson because we're going to go over every single one of these in detail. Starting with coordinate plane. A coordinate plane is basically where you're going to graph. A coordinate plane will look like this in certain instances, or in other instances later on this year, you're going to see two lines crossed where you're going to start graphing. Depending on your ordered pair, so say like for every one lawn you mow, you get $5. This would be your X and your Y, your X coordinate, your Y coordinate. X will tell you to go left or right. Left or right. Right meaning it's positive, so it's positive 1, so we're going to go to the right. Negative would make it go to the left. Y is going to tell you to go up or down. Up, again, being positive, down being negative. Since this is a 5, positive 5, we're going to go up. So in this case, we are going right, and then up, because both numbers are positive. We're going to start right at the middle, right here where the two lines intersect. That is known as 0, 0, or the origin point. We always start there. The first number, X, is going to tell us to go 1 to the right, so I'm going to go 1, stay here, and then go 5 up. I'll just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll be right here somewhere. That is my point 1, 5. When you do this, you're going to see more actual squares drawn up, so you know where to count and go. But this covers coordinate plane. So coordinate plane is the area in which you are graphing your points. The origin, or the origin point, is 0, 0, where the two lines intersect or cross right here in the middle. That is your origin. X-axis and y-axis are the two lines. So the line that goes from left to right is known as your x-axis. The line that goes up and down is known as your y-axis. Notice that the very first point is x, in alphabetical order, x then y. So x will tell you to go left and right. And then y is your second point, and that will tell you to go up or down, which is why y is up or down, and x is left and right. So those are the two lines that make up the coordinate plane, are the x and y axis. An ordered pair is made up of an x and y coordinate, which are covering right here. Again, the x coordinate tells you to go left or right. The y coordinate tells you to go up or down. And then graph is just literally what we do, the act of actually putting the point on a graph. So let's go over this again. Coordinate plane is where you actually graph, the area in which you're graphing. An origin is the point in the middle where the x and y axis cross or intersect. That's going to be your vocabulary term, is where the y and x axis intersect. That is the origin or the origin point. It is 0, 0. That is its ordered pair, is 0, 0. The x and y axis are the two lines that make up your coordinate plane. An ordered pair is when you have two numbers, an x coordinate and a y coordinate, that you are going to graph. And then that covers x and y coordinates, and then graphing is the act of putting it all here. So we covered all of our vocab. If you need to go back and watch that slowly, put the speed on slow, pause it, please do, but make sure that your notes do have this in here, or when I check it, at least show me, hey, I put it on my vocab page, just so you know, because this information is going to be a lot, and you're going to need this. So we're going to graph ratio tables. The coordinate plane is formed when two perpendicular number lines intersect at their 0 points. Again, we talked about this. The y and x axis cross, and that point of intersection is known as the origin. It's 0, 0. This point is called the origin. The horizontal line is called the x-axis. The horizontal meaning left and right. The vertical one, which means up and down, is the y-axis. An ordered pair such as 2, 3 is a pair of numbers used to locate on a point on the coordinate plane. Notice that your ordered pair will always be in parentheses. So if I have, 5, 7 as my ordered pair, the first number is always my x-coordinate. The second number is my y-coordinate. Remember, x tells you to go left or right. Left because it's negative, right because it is positive. Y will tell you to go up or down. Up because it is positive, down because it is negative. For now, we're going to just deal with a corner of the graph, also known as a quadrant. We'll talk more about that in a future lesson. But they're both going to be positive, which means we're always going right and then up, hence why we're in this section of the graph. We would go to the other quadrants based on if we started with a negative. If x was negative, we'd go left first, and then depending on what y is, positive, we'd go up, negative, we'd go down. We'd end up in this quadrant if it was negative, negative. This quadrant if it was negative, positive. This one down here would be x is positive, y is negative. So there's always directions in which we go. For right now, we're going to deal with nothing but positive numbers. So we're going to be in this quadrant only, where x and y are both positive. This would tell me to go 5 to the right and up 7. And again, your graph will be actually, graphed out with boxes and lines. So you would count 5 to the right and count 7 up and then put your dot there, and that's your point. In this case down here, 5, 4 is graphed. We went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right because 5 is our x-coordinate and it is positive. So we go to the right, and it's telling us to go 4 up because that is a positive. That is our y-coordinate. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where I would graph this point. Real world link. In 3 minutes, a North American wood turtle can travel about 17 yards. If the x-axis represents the minutes and the y-axis represents the yards, write an ordered pair to represent this situation. So x is our first value, if it will let me draw. Yay, forgot. There we go. So x is going to be represented by minutes, so 3 minutes. If in 3 minutes, really, if in 3 minutes the American wood turtle can travel about 17 yards, that is going to be my ordered pair, 3, 17. We would still look at it to see if we could simplify it, just like any fraction. But 17 is not going to be a multiple of 3. Therefore, it is already simplified. 3 and 17 have no common factors whatsoever. So my ordered pair is going to be 3, 17, or 3 is x, 17 is y. And I would go to a graph and go 3 to the right and 17 up. And that's how I would graph that. Graph ordered pairs. You can use ordered pair to name any point on the coordinate plane. The first number in the ordered pair is always the x-coordinate. The second number is the y-coordinate. Always remember it's x and y, alphabetical order. The x-coordinate corresponds to a number on the x-axis. We've talked about this. It will go left or right. Left if it's negative, right if it's positive. The y-coordinate represents or corresponds to a number on the y-axis. Again, up and down. Up if it's positive, down if it's negative. You can express the information in the table as a set of ordered pairs to see patterns, graph the ordered pairs on the coordinate plane. So this is where we're going to be talking about our tables here. The table shows the cost in dollars to create CDs of digital photos at a photo shop. This textbook is a little dated. I know people can just upload them to Google Drive now, but we work with what we have. The table also shows this information as ordered pairs. Number of CDs cost in dollars. So for one CD, it costs $3. Ordered pair is 1, 3. For 2 CDs, it'll be $6. 2, 6. For 3 CDs, it would be $9. 3, 9. graph the ordered pairs. Start at the origin, use the x-coordinate and move along the x-axis, then you use a coordinate and move along. So every single one of these ordered pairs, we start at the origin. And now it's letting me draw when I don't want to draw. There we go. So our first ordered pair is 1, 3. We start at 0, 0, right here in the corner. 1 to the right, up 3. There is my point 1, 3. Point 2, 6. I start again at the origin, 0, 0. Right 2, up 6. I'm right there. And then 3, 9. Again, start at 0, 0, or the origin. 3 to the right, up 9, and I graph all 3 of my pairs. The graph is going to represent data. The more CDs that I create and sell, the more money I'm going to make. And this graph's going to go straight up like this, and that's not a great straight line, but you get the picture. Never is that line going to teeter off or stay stagnant unless it says, if you buy 5 or more CDs, no matter how many CDs you buy, it'll cost you this much, and then it's a set price. Other than that, for every CD they buy, it's going to cost them $3. So the more CDs you buy, the more money you're spending. This is what graphs are for, is to show trends in data. We've talked in class already about Black Friday and why companies, decide to sell at a discount to help make up some of the loss or to make up, money that they wouldn't have otherwise. Companies use this data to see when is it feasible to have a sale, when are people more likely to spend money, how many of this product should we order, because we don't want to have too much of it left over. So this is what graphing is for, and this is what graphing is used in real life. Describe the pattern in the graph. The points appear in a line. Each point is 1 unit to the right and 3 units up from the previous point. So if the cost increases by $3 for every CD created, as we talked about, every CD is $3 more. So your graph's just going to keep going straight over to the right and up. The table shows Gloria's earnings for 1 hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours. The table also lists the information as ordered pairs, hours, and earnings. Graph the ordered pairs. 1 hour of work, Gloria makes $5. So my first pair is 1, 5. I'm going to click on the eraser so I can do this. And let's see if we can draw this. I'm going to go 1 and then up 5. Notice the numbers on the side. Don't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's 10. 5 is going to be somewhere between 4 and 6, so I'm going to put my dot right there. I'm actually going to pick a bigger marker. I clicked OK. So my point is right between 4 and 6, so it's 5. That's a little too big. Let's go ahead and pick a different one. Let's do this, and let's do that one. That one should be fine. So for the first hour of work, she gets paid $5. She's right there between 4 and 6 because 5 is right there. My second pair is 2 hours. She makes $10 now. So it's going to go up by 5. So it's going to be 210. We start at 0, 0, 1, 2 to the right, up to 10, and 10's right there, so I can put my dot right where 10 is. And then we know with 3, it's going to be 15 based on the amount of hours. Yep, 3 hours, 15. She makes $5 an hour. I'm going to go from 0, 0 to 3, and then up to 15. There is no 15, but I have 14 and 16. It's going to be right. I need to make sure I'm on 3. I am right between them, and boom. This is going to show a graph that is just going to continue. I cannot draw it with this marker. That will continue to go up. At 4 hours, she should be making $20. At 5 hours, she should be making $25. At 6, she should be making $30, and so on. Describe the pattern in the graph. As we said, each number goes up by 1 to the right, 1, and then 2, then 3, and it goes up 5 because she's making $5 an hour every hour. If we were to extend this graph, 4 hours would make her $20, 5 hours make her $25, 6 hours would make $30. Sorry, let me rephrase that. 4 hours would get her $20. 5 hours would get her $25. 6 hours would get her $30. It's $5 each hour that it increases. So this is going to be our pattern in our graph. Compare ratios. You can use tables and graphs to compare ratios. The greater the ratio, the steeper the line will appear. Two friends are making scrapbooks. Renee places 4 photos on each page of her scrapbook. Gina places 6 photos on each page of her scrapbook. Make a table for each scrapbook that shows the total number of photos placed. If each book has 1, 2, 3, or 4 pages, list the information as ordered pairs, pages, and then photos. So let's break this down a little bit. Renee, for each page, she's going to put 4 photos on each page. So let's see Renee's. For 1 page, she'll have 4 photos. 2 pages, 8 photos. 3 pages, 12 photos. 4 pages, 16 photos. So 4 photos on each page. This is our ordered pairs are going to be 1, 4, 2, 8, 3, 12, and 4, 16. In Gina's scrapbook, she's actually putting 6 photos per page. So we got 1, 6, 2, 12, 3, 18, 4, 24. Graph the ordered pairs for each friend on the same coordinate plane. So they're graphing them here, but in different colors. We're going to start with Renee. Renee will be in blue. As you notice, 1, she has 4 pictures. 2, she's got 8 pictures. 3, she has 12 pictures. Renee's line is going to look like this if it keeps going. Gina's pictures, on 1 page she has 6 photos. 2 pages, she's got 12 photos. 3 pages, 18. So her line goes a little bit higher. Now, I know by looking at this, Gina's line looks like it's ahead because it's in front. That isn't the point. The point is to have a higher line. If the incline is higher, so if your line looks like this, you're not really getting a lot. You want to go higher. The straighter and the higher it is, the better the line is. So what this is saying is that Gina is actually getting a lot more done because Gina is actually having a lot more photos per page on hers. So when she's done, Gina in 4 pages will have 24 photos in her scrapbook versus Renee, who will only have 16 photos in her scrapbook. How does the ratio of photos to each page compare for each person? How is this shown on the graph? The ratio of photos per pages for Renee's scrapbook is 4 to 1, 4 photos per 1 page, while the ratio for Gina's scrapbook is 6 to 1. On the graph, both sets of points appear to be in a straight line, but the line for Gina is steeper than the line for Renee. Again, steeper means straighter and higher, and Gina's is on the left side here, way steeper and higher than Renee's. So Gina is actually getting more pictures per page on her scrapbook, and she's doing a better job. That is pretty much the entire lesson. For your homework, let's go over homework, because I know we're just getting back from break. I need to erase some of these, because if you were able to pause it, oh well. They want you to graph and label each point on the coordinate plane. Let's go ahead and do numbers 1 through 8. And then we're going to do number 9, and that will be it. You guys can ignore 10 for this homework assignment. We will be doing numbers 1 through 9, and yes, you're doing both parts for 9. I do have graph paper in class, which I will start introducing. If you guys want to cut it out and, tape it in, I would suggest tape and not glue, because glue can cause pages to glue together in your notebook. If you want to draw your graph in yours, you can. That's fine. If you want to print this out and then tape it into your notebook as well, completely up to you. But again, you guys are going to be doing numbers 1 through 9 on this, parts A and B for 9. Again, as always, this is Mr. P. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. If you guys still have any questions, again, Those in my class can always message me on Teams or on email. Those of you that are not in my class can always leave a comment, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. As always, this is Mr. P, and I will catch you guys on the next one.